to me, this is what successful data governance looks like. It adds value. It is something that everybody can participate in, and it resonates with the, the users.
Yes. And you've been able to do a really good job of holding off the two enemies of data governance, in my opinion, which is focus and chaos. Those are the things that you want to really keep out of your program. And you've done a great job of maintaining focus with your team, with your goals, and reducing chaos by having the process and procedures and guiding your team really well. Can you tell us some of the things that you have utilized that have helped maintain those guardrails for your program?
Yeah. So the the we started with trying to bring efficiencies into our process. Like I said, we've had governance from day one. It's
Mm.
just a question of maturing and really adding on those efficiencies was really what got us on the path of purchasing a tool like OvalEdge to give us momentum and build on the controls we already had, because the controls we had were in place, but it was such a manual effort. So with this, we got those efficiencies. We've also been able to create that excitement among our users and help them adopt the tool and really think in terms, adopt that data centric mindset, if you will. The other thing that we are actively working on is trying to get, so one thing, like I said, when we started this program, the idea was to immediately establish trustworthiness of the data that we had, so people would actually come and use the data and make better data-driven decisions. Um, but our the way we established those controls had to be, again, we had to put boundaries around it, right? So we made sure that data sources could tie back to some golden version of the truth, but we didn't necessarily go get to the attribute level. And as we get more into, one of our active endeavors at this point is to really get advanced analytics going, to really get to that next level in our evolution with analytics, predictive and prescriptive analytics. And for that, the quality of the data is at a totally new level, right? Now you're
Mm.
starting to look at things, the features that feed into models, for instance. So one of the uh, regulatory things, I wouldn't necessarily call it a regulatory, it's a regulation, but it's a standard that we have to meet. It's called CISO, which every company that has loan assets will have to be able to use data at the customer level in order to create a provision for loan losses, which all banks do and all financial institutions. So one thing that feeds into that model is the credit score of the customer or the member in our case. And previously, we wouldn't have really gotten to the level of an attribute within a particular data source. We would let the data owners really manage that. But now, because this truly impacts what we're reporting in our financial statements, etc., there's an extra level of scrutiny. So we've been able to leverage OvalEdge to start profiling some of these feature level data elements that feed into models and proactively manage the quality of that. So to us, that's a level of capability that we did not have previously. Now we are able to bring in a more enhanced perspective, if you will. It's going to help us really manage our AI and machine learning models as we step into the future. We're already thinking about
Yeah.
that towards and leveraging OvalEdge to do that.
So as you advance your AI and analytics capabilities, being able to explain how you calculated something and memorialize that in the tool, do you see people going to the tool to find out and understand what that calculation is, and you're not explaining it every time the phone rings? And
Absolutely. So the documentation, the cataloging is one aspect, but the quality is the other aspect that I referred to earlier. So now we are able to use the tagging capabilities within OvalEdge to tell us, where the data that goes into the CECL model is coming from. Now you can look back and look at the sources. You can manage quality proactively. Credit score is a key data element that feeds into that model, and if something happens with the profile of that data element, it can really impact your model. So now we can
Absolutely.
proactively manage that from both a understanding perspective, from a cataloging perspective, and a quality perspective. So it's a win-win for everyone.